Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your February 2026 reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh, and it's great to see everybody. Before I begin, just a quick reminder, this can always be used for Sun, Rising Moon, or Venus. Why don't we get straight into your channeled messages first? As I was tuning into your sign, the download that came through for me was like a stopwatch, and I just got this feeling of impatience. Like either some of you are under a deadline, or you're feeling this sense of frustration because maybe what you had mapped out or planned to happen, it's taking longer. It's taking longer to manifest or to show up. So the one thing that Spirit really wants to emphasize here is breathe. Think of this as your hanged man moment, where you're taking a moment to pause, look around, and make sure that you're not missing something, a different perspective, a detail, particularly when we're looking at contracts and projects. The other message that I'm getting is that there is plenty in this moment right here, right now, to learn from, celebrate, drink in, and absorb. And I think so often we try to just rush to the next milestone, to the next expectation, and we don't always just appreciate being right here, right now. So when you have that pause, you may learn something about yourself. Maybe that you're happy or that you're not so happy with the situation. And then that creates this like light bulb moment of what the next step should look like. But if we don't slow down, if we don't tune in, we're just running. And it's kind of like that movie Forrest Gump. Where are you running to? You've got to figure out what your destination is, because you can then be more effective and efficient at manifesting. So if you are feeling stuck or like you're spinning your wheels, pause. It seems sort of counterintuitive, but it's exactly what Spirit wants you to do. Then looking at that stopwatch, the other thing here is to kind of look at where and how much you're spending your time. So what are the different outlets? Is there anything in your schedule right now that would constitute like an energy leak, where it feels like you just, the time disappears? This is the area that you want to focus on, because the other thing is time management when I look at the stopwatch. So being appreciative of right here, right now, getting a little bit more clear on what the goal is, and then managing things once you've got that goal so that you can use what you've got and make the most of it, okay? So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards. I'll keep an eye out for anything around time or deadlines or different perspectives. With that being said, let's shuffle the cards. All right, please take a moment, close your eyes. Imagine the sun is shining directly overhead. Create a circle of light around your body and welcome in the angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, let's get started with your catalyst. So in the channeled messages, I was talking about the importance of having direction. That is the central word here as we're looking at these three. So family, direction, and energy. I think these are all related. Sometimes family can lift us up. Sometimes they can drag us down. So we want to really be tuning into that sort of tug of war, the boundaries that sometimes exist there, make sure that everything is where it needs to be. I think really boundaries are the important things. Some of you may be deciding to prioritize perhaps expanding the family, and that's a big discussion point if that's something you're interested in. The rest of this just has to do with what that goal or that end point is, and then all energy, all attention, and all sort of intention as well starts to flow towards that point. So lovely synchronicities coming through with that. We'll keep the kangaroo to the side, and we'll talk about it as need be here. But I want to go first to the centermost card. We have an ace. Ace of Wands in the reverse position. This is reminding you that an idea and intention is only as good as the follow through. So the first message from Spirit is you're on to something great. But in order to breathe this into life, in order for it to take root and grow, follow through is necessary. So we have a hand here, and normally there's a hand holding the ace, but we see the two just kind of like connected here. And it's saying each and every day, roll up your sleeves and do something, whatever it might be, whether it's sketching it out in a book, making a phone call, putting something into an email, whatever, just one little thing each day that moves your goal a little bit closer to actually coming to fruition. Now, this is also about not overthinking. So as much as this can be a light bulb moment, when the Ace of Wands is reversed, it's kind of like someone switching the dimmer down or the light bulb off. And what's important here is to realize that sometimes we go into this, my math meme, well, what if this happens? And what if someone doesn't like this? And we start to imagine worst case scenarios. What if this is an amazing insight and idea, and you just need to give it some time to grow? Because that's what this card is inviting. Also, although we can't see it here, there would be roots that are forming, and the message that comes through from Spirit is creation, and creativity is an iterative process, one step at a time. Think of the building blocks of language. You start with letters, words, you put them into sentences, and eventually you have full sort of paragraphs and thoughts that are flowing. But it starts small, on the most basic level. And so you have to begin somewhere. Don't let the avalanche sometimes, like it feels like, oh my God, there's so much that I have to do. Don't let that hold you back from taking the first step, because you really are onto something good. And I can tell you that because when we look at the cards here, the center card is crossed by the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles, of course, represents something of great value. And oftentimes this is connected with recognition, contracts. It can be school, education, a good sum of money. In other words, I quite like what that light bulb moment is for some of you. So go down that path if you have this inclination to try something new. Now, focusing on this in a broader sort of level, the 10 of Pentacles can represent what we see in this card, family. For many of you, this can be extending the family. This is also a card that's connected with, like I said, work, education, and things that you're building in your life. So let's get a little esoteric and then we'll get more specific. What is it that you feel most proud about? What is your legacy? The 10 of Pentacles is something that, like the backdrop that we see here, this archway, it's something that will last even longer than you're on this planet. And all of these people that are connected to it will remember you. So I definitely get the word legacy when I'm looking at this. But right off the bat, we're getting a good card when it comes to money. So if you've been struggling a little bit, what we see here is the ability to pull into your auric field some opportunity. You're already there, but you're thinking too much. That's what this was about. Don't second guess yourself. Now, if you're looking for a job or opportunity, it might also just be one step away. This is friends and family. So when we get into job seeking and we look at the expanded forecast here a little bit later, I'll touch upon that. But for now, let's go ahead and see what's in your deep past. We have the King of Wands here. Very nice energy for you. Many of you have done the work. The King of Wands is organization, intuition, inspiration. It's also a boss card. And it feels like you've been getting organized, getting strategic. The main thing here is to pick like one thing to focus on. We did have a number one, an ace at the center, and it's saying don't overextend yourself this month. The more specific and the more focused you can get, the more effective you can get in your manifestation. It's interesting that we see two different people on either side of this King of Wands. You may be at an interesting point in your life where you have to choose between two options, maybe between two people that you're interested in. But choice, clarity, and the ability to lead by example are all parts of this card. But basically, as we look at your karma, you're actually showing up pretty nicely. As we look at the recent past, this is one of my favorite Hermit cards. The Hermit comes through to remind you that you have what it takes. This card is one that is connected to your spiritual growth, the intelligence and acumen that you've been working hard to create per the King card here, the King of Wands. And what I get with this is pick your moment to shine. because typically the star is in the lantern, but here we see that the hermit is morphing into the star, like the star card in tarot. What this reminds me of is Gandalf in the second Lord of the Rings movie, the Two Towers. And there's a moment where he reveals his true form, and he's just all light. And he kind of has to put the hood back on. But throughout the Two Towers and the Return of the King, there are several moments where he uncloaks and shows that he's Gandalf the White. There's another one where he's in front of the king in Rohan, and he shows that he's Gandalf the White because he has to pull Saruman out of the sort of auric field of the king. Very spiritual movie. I love that. So anyway, there's going to be, for many of you, a moment to shine. Sorry about my Lord of the Rings rant. But there may be a moment to shine and show your true colors. The other thing with the hermit is people may just not see you for who you are. They're underestimating you. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage because people will say and do things where they don't realize that you understand. But there's probably going to be a moment where you have to check them and call them on that. Also, if you want advancement or if you want recognition or if you need to be noticed, this is saying there'll be a time and a place that you're going to exit from the hermit mode because this is in the position of the past. The good news is, as we see here, that beautiful shining star, you've always had that energy. You've always had that potential. Now is the time to embrace it and to shine. Okay. In the crowning position, you receive the Two of Cups, partnership, friendship, and networking opportunities for many of you. Also, we have two great relationship cards. So in the center, we had one that is connected with commitment, the Ten of Pentacles. And again, this is more making that heart connection as well. So for those of you looking to either enrich or deepen a relationship, perfect. Or if you're looking to meet someone new, you might meet someone who is very ready to step into something serious. All of this is auspicious. I also see the Two of Cups as a magnet. So if you're trying to get noticed, like find a job, or if you're trying to be chosen, maybe you're trying to buy a home or again, sort of like get someone's attention, whether you're submitting a resume or just putting yourself out there, people are more likely to take notice and you'll at least get your foot in the door. So this is a good thing. Also, we mentioned here, while I'm looking for the card here, that family in general could be a place that taps some of your energy or takes your focus. And if there's any relationship in your familial sort of circle that you want to put more time and energy into, this is a great time for that as well. All right, I found the Two of Cups. Here it is. So in this version of it, we can actually see two people, heart to heart, face to face, and they're finally having that important conversation. So don't underestimate the importance of doing something in person. Whether it's a difficult conversation or a really fun one, it's better to do it in person than through a text or an email. Definitely not a voicemail. So the other thing here is you can read this card as platonic or romantic. So however we look at this, the ability to make a connection this month is really strong, so lean into that. Taking a look here at the near future, we have the Nine of Cups. The card is reversed, just like we can see. But let's go ahead and turn it upright so you can take in the beautiful illustration. So we see someone there that is really feeling the sort of waterworks coming through. You can cry when you're happy, you can cry when you're sad, and this card really encapsulates the sort of intensity of emotion in that. There could be times this month where it feels like the best day ever or the worst day ever, but the truth is somewhere in between, and this card is reminding you not to give in to that moment where you're thinking, oh my gosh. Breathe, definitely breathe. But don't underestimate the beautiful energy of this, which is you could be taken by surprise when a dream comes true. This card is celebration, wish fulfillment, and the reversal can just show something coming out of left field, like surprise. And that actually is what we see here going on here. The Hermit is kind of hidden, but has something beautiful to show. And then we have this really great energy of possibility here in the Ten of Pentacles, and then you're taken by surprise here. This can be doubt, like, is this happening? And yes, it's happening. There's a lot of great cards around here. Just make sure you want it. If you don't want it, say you don't want it. But if you're just surprised and you're second guessing yourself, don't second guess yourself. You deserve this moment of happiness, and you could just be feeling the intensity of emotions. It's really important when you have something like the Nine of Cups come through to make sure that you're sleeping well, you have exercise in your schedule somewhere, and if you need to talk to someone, you do that. By the way, I'm just noticing now the Hanged Man here, which is also connected to what I was talking about earlier. So pause, particularly when you're going through this. Be still with it for a moment and look around. I think it's really important to catch your breath. That's another sort of big idea that's coming through. All right, let's take a look at you. I'm not surprised to see this. So we have you showing up as the Two of Pentacles in the reverse position. We have someone here that's trying to be in two places at once, or do two things at once, or please everybody. The message here is you can't and you shouldn't try. So make a choice. In this particular situation with the card in the reverse position, it's saying not only is it okay, but it's advisable to say no to something so that you can say yes to another thing that really, really matters. The thing that will help you decide is the center card. One thing in your life just won't feel like it's lighting you up. We want you to shine like that star inside the hermit's cape. You need to be really feeling engaged on all levels. Otherwise, you can say, not this, this. You're making a choice. Work-life balance, for some of you, could be what's missing, so you're spending too much time in one of those extremes. This can also represent health that may not be prioritized, so making sure that you're eating well, sleeping well, exercising adequately, meditating, whatever is required for you to find the equilibrium, remembering that health is mind, body, and spirit. And then, of course, we can take this at face value. This card can represent overextension in time, energy, and money. And even though we have a really abundant card here in the center, the Ten of Pentacles, that doesn't mean you couldn't overspend or overextend. So I believe that for some of you, this comes from a desire to impress, satisfy, or get approval. And these are normal, natural human things, but you don't need to do it right now. Really, what you need to make sure of is that you're happy and that you're doing what is creating stability and grounding in your life. Okay? Those are the main things. If you happen to be traveling right now, make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of extra time. The Two of Pentacles represents delays or hiccups when it comes to travel. All right, let's see what's going on in your environment. I really think overall your resources look good. It's the choices that need to be sort of dealt with a little bit, because 10 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles, chef's kiss. The Two of Pentacles representing you shows choices that are not maximizing what's around you. So there could be a learning opportunity knocking on the door. Some of you are looking at either going back to school, getting some sort of training or certification, maybe teaching or mentoring. It can go either way. And that looks great. For the writers out there, this is a perfect time to get things in writing. And I like to reemphasize as much as possible that writing isn't just creative writing, though it can be. But in addition to the novelists out there, this is also for those of you that might be putting things into a proposal, like for business. It can be a curriculum if you're looking at teaching. It can be a scientific documentation or some sort of like, what's the other word, like technical writing, but somehow documenting things. If there is a contract in front of you, as we saw here at the center, there's room for revision. Hammering out, literally, you can see her hammering out the details. And you have a good chance of negotiating what you need. Give and take. There's a little bit of compromise. You can't have everything. The 8 and the 2 make a 10. So there's probably one or two things that you're going to have to let go of, and or the other person will need to let go of. And if you're negotiating, there's something in like the realm of 20% that may need to be rethought or reimagined, but the bulk of it looks pretty good. So love what I see here. Look at the fine details and make sure that quality is there. Quality over rushing. We're going to get to this card in a second, but that's why the Hanged Man is here. Take your time. All right, we'll talk more about the Hanged Man in a moment, but in hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have a Knight. The Knight is reversed. Knight of Wands in particular. You're asking yourself, what do I think of this? And you're also asking others, what do you think? Getting some feedback and then also checking in. Whenever a Knight card is reversed, it naturally is slowing down. So I'm very happy that the Hanged Man is the final card in the spread. But what you want to look at is to make sure that you're in alignment with what you thought you would be doing. Because sometimes we get pulled in a direction that we didn't expect. Maybe because you want to take care of a family member. Maybe because there's a cause that really pulls you in, and that's what you want to focus on. And then once that's done, you come back to center, and you're like, wait a second, I'm a little bit off. I'm a little bit out of focus. So we're getting the lens and we're focusing in on what feels right, on what sounds right to you, and going from there, you can be much more productive. The Knight of Wands in reverse is also saying, if there's something that you want to fight for, figure out, get all of your sort of intellectual ammunition. Make sure that you've thought about the how, the why, that when someone comes through and counters, are you sure? You can say yes, because this. So this is also just a planning phase for some of you. And we already showed this, but the outcome is the Hanged Man. So you've got so much going on this month. Don't add anything extra into the mix, and make sure that you're taking time, as I mentioned in the very beginning, to drink in this moment in time, to figure out if you're exactly where you want and need to be, and to entertain a potential, alternate path if you want to. If you do have a small delay, it's not going to be a permanent delay. The Hanged Man doesn't last forever. It's just saying, in this moment in time, you might just need to sit still for a second, so also another opportunity, another person can align into your path. But given all the cards that I'm seeing, and given the lack of Devil, Tower, Ten of Swords, I feel pretty good about this. You just don't rush. You're exactly where you need to be. And it feels like for many of you, it's just about finishing something up, regulating emotions, picking your moment to shine, and leaning into the partnership energy here. Good stuff. Let's expand this. We'll get some additional insights as we go into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. So for health, we have the bee. So this represents so many things, but as someone who suffers from allergies, the bee here reminds me of pollen and, of course, airborne allergens. So this can be smog, this can be other sort of pollutants in the air, and of course it can be things like pollen. Now, one thing that you want to do if this is the case is to make sure that your air conditioner or heating unit has good filters on it, clean filters. Make sure that you have an air purifier in your house, and also that you're using detergents that don't have a lot of chemicals in it. There's so many little things that can trigger allergies within you. Of course, food as well. The best thing to do if you're suffering from allergies is to work with a professional. Go to an ENT and take a look at the respiratory system, and then probably an allergy test. But there are little things that you can do, and I mentioned a few of them. Get all of the unnecessary fragrances out of your life, and make sure that your house is really clean and you have good filters. These things will actually be life-changing, and then you might look at other ways to manage it through diet, through medicine, etc. Okay, so the bee is also really busy. And when we're looking at time and energy management, we don't want you to exhaust yourself. So I think of a busy bee here. Make sure that you are getting ample rest and that you're not pulled in all the directions as we were looking at here, like with the Two of Pentacles. All right, broadly looking at all of these cards here. As I said, one thing that could be taking a lot of energy and focus for you is family. And so prioritizing that, but also having healthy boundaries there coming up once more. The Nine of Cups showing emotional sensitivity and vulnerability. If you have never talked to a counselor or therapist or someone of that nature, this might be the month to do that if you're feeling just a lot of intensity and emotions. This can show a lack of vitality or rest in the morning. And again, this could be sleep deprivation or just like insomnia. And if that's the case, make sure again that you work with a professional on that. I do like what I see here in the environment with the Eight of Pentacles. I think if you put a little bit of energy into whatever it is that's kind of taking you out of balance, you're going to be able to set into motion and into schedule something that you can stick to. This is interesting. I'm looking at the fire on the Knight of Wands, and I'm also getting inflammation. And it could be because the Hanged Man has to do with like the lower extremities, it's usually the foot and ankle, but it can even be the knee. There could be some arthritic pain, fibromyalgia, or swelling there, and you want to be mindful of that and obviously address it as need be. Okay. it really is important not to overextend yourself. By the way, if you're doing any exercises, this is about stretching as well. We sometimes forget to do that. And when it comes to extremes, we want to avoid them. But Nine of Cups sometimes has to do with alcohol. So make sure that you're being smart about caffeine and alcohol in particular. Before we move on, I heard Apollo behind us. So let's give him a little pat on the head, and then we'll move on to the next category. Hello, my friend. So good to see you. Thank you for joining. Yes, I know. Thanks, buddy. I'll let you sleep again. All right. So we just took a look at health. Why don't we move on to the next category, which is going to be wealth. Wealth is your resources, your life purpose, and your career. And in that area, this is interesting, we have you are safe here. I feel like some of you, it's just feeling safe in this newfound idea. Like, I wonder if I would be good at doing this. I wonder if my idea has merit. And the universe, without a shadow of a doubt, was validating the light bulb moment. So you're safe to pursue your dream for sure. Now, because I'm reading broadly and we're going to break this down, this is also a question from the universe because it's reversed, and it's saying, do you feel safe where you're at? And we're going to look at all the different categories, but if you don't feel safe in showing your true colors, then that's telling, and that might be all that you need to know about whether you're going to stay or go. So let's break this down into 5 major categories. We'll start off with those of you that currently have a job. These are amazing cards. 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. People are interested in what you have to say and offer. This is where it might be important to have boundaries and where you want to make sure that you're not overextending yourself. Oftentimes when you are successful or when people value you, it's kind of like everybody wants a piece of you, right? So you have to know when to say when. What I like, though, is with these 2 cards, there's a chance that there could be a new opportunity knocking at the door for expansion, for learning, where you can be noticed, and people may be surprised at a hidden skill that you have. If you want something this month, speak up. Let them know. Let them know that you have, whatever that secret sauce is in the Hermit, it's your moment to shine. We have also this leadership energy here in the deep past, and it feels like some of you are a little impatient about growth when it comes to this, because we have a Knight here and a Hanged Man, which can represent a little bit of a glass ceiling. But given what I see here, maybe people just don't know that you're interested in that next step. Talk strategically about the direction that you want to head in and put the energy and the intention into that now, okay? The other thing that I see here is if there's something that you want to do more, bring that up. Ace of Wands in reverse can show that the thrill is gone in one aspect of the job, but there's so much room for growth that you might want to talk about something else. Looks pretty good for those that are employed. All right, if you're an entrepreneur, here's what I see. First of all, the Hermit card in the recent past showing that and this King of Wands, you've really thought through something, and you might have this sort of like surprise launch or surprise announcement, which gets great sort of recognition or receipt. The only challenge is you might have under or overestimated it by about 20%. So just make sure that you've double checked, pre-orders if there's anything that you're launching like that. And in general, I think it's good to kind of have a little bit of a contingency fund just in case there's a quarter this year that doesn't match up to your expectations, okay? For you, I'm also seeing just intensity of like emotions that could be leading to feel that sense of fatigue that we have at the center. So self-care and like a personal day, just make sure that you're getting the rest that you need. Don't rush this to launch. I think it's really much better right now to just make sure that something is done completely. And if that means delaying it by a month or a quarter, delay it. The Hanged Man is showing that that's actually beneficial and advantageous. Lean into the success, the good word of mouth with the 2 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. These are your best allies, and it's your customers, and it's just general people out there that like what you're doing. Leverage those and get those people to, fill out a review online so other people can discover your business, because it feels like that's one area of opportunity, is just getting out there a little bit more. Okay? All right, moving onward. If you're looking for a job right now, can you find one? Yes. And the way to do it is these two cards. It's a little easier to see in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. So direct friends and family, and then former colleagues or classmates. It's the network. And if you don't have that, build the network. Get involved. This can also, by the way, be things like sporting activities, going to church, or wherever you sort of spend time with people. More of that. That's going to help you connect. What we see here is someone who is really keen on the experience, like educational or certification type experience. Make sure you're bubbling that up. If you have extra skills like multiple languages, whether it's spoken languages or computer languages, let's make sure that those things are getting bubbled up in your and seen in your resume. It could take a little bit longer for something to come through, but when it does, it looks really, really good. Follow up. Make sure that you're sending the follow-up text or email, and if you don't hear back, try again or try a different point person. The only thing that I'm seeing for some of you is it's a little bit under the expected point. So again, maybe 10 to 20% below what you were expecting. See if it's a learning experience. See if you like it. If this isn't enough, negotiate. But I don't see you're able to get beyond that 20% more. So that's something that you'll want to think about a little bit here. If you have the resources, the time, or the decision that you want to, spend more time getting education right now, perfect. But otherwise, I see some slight delays, and I think you might want to expand a little bit. The Two of Pentacles is also saying if you're willing to travel a little bit more, that could open up more doors for you. Okay, moving on to students. Overall, a great spread for students. The Hermit and the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, chef's kiss. These are exactly what I want to see. Nine of Cups. One thing that I'm seeing for some of you is, again, just really heightened emotions. So this could be like, wow, I'm loving this, or I'm really feeling stressed out. Either way, maybe talking to a counselor on campus could be very good. The Knight of Wands in reverse is also this feeling of, it's going to take longer. The program that you're looking at may extend an extra semester or an extra year. And for some of you, that's like extra money that you weren't intending to spend. So you may be looking also at a way to work while you're studying. Get creative with that so that you aren't sort of saddled with extra debt if you are paying for this yourself. Okay, and retirees, building, rebuilding, or reconnecting with friends and family. Back to the kangaroo here. Family is maybe for some of you where the main energy is going to go. Maybe you're spending more time with grandchildren or children, or you want to do a little bit of teaching, mentorship, and giving back to the community at large. All right, let's move on and go to the next area, which is love and relationships. And with love and relationships, we have this plant card coming through, Plant Nation, herbal medicine. So we're looking at healing when we're looking at love and relationships. And also, when I think of plants in general, it's the slow sort of growth that we were talking about that comes out of the Ace of Wands. So anything worth doing sometimes takes a little bit more time, and you don't want to rush a relationship. That Hanged Man energy coming through loud and clear, just saying enjoy who you are, where you are, and who you're spending time with. Don't try to rush to these arbitrary sort of like lines in the sand where I have to get engaged by this time, I have to have a kid by this time, and if I don't have this, that's a reflection on me. They're just goals. You can change your goals as needed. And this is also, when I think of herbal medicine, it's about healing the relationships. So if there's something that needs to be said or done, this is a perfect time to do that. Breaking this down into 3 subcategories, we'll start off with those that are currently partnered. So you might be thinking of extending the family. We see a little Joey right there in the mama kangaroo's pouch. Things can happen faster than you think. There could be an unexpected pregnancy, or if you've been trying for a long time and nothing's happened, you may just get a surprise out of nowhere and it's like, oh my gosh, we finally are pregnant. So be aware of that if you're looking to do that. The other thing here is just to decide what it is that you want. So the direction. 2 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. This is committing or recommitting or going deeper in the relationship. So if you've been together for a while but you haven't been married or haven't been exclusive, this is the exclusivity or the commitment. If you're already committed, it's reconnecting to those deeper roots. You and or your partner, though, could be dealing with a couple of things. One is libido could be lower, or there's just not enough time in the schedule for intimacy, and intimacy isn't just sex, but making time for each other. One of the things that could be creating a block to that is intense emotions. And this could be anything, work stress. This can just be life in general, the world at large, because there's so much going on. So regulating your stress and helping your partner do the same, knowing that that's probably going to naturally help with what's going on here, and then clearing up the schedule a little bit too. Okay? Slowing down is the key. It feels like you have a good foundation, but it's like you're going on all octanes and it's too fast. Okay? So slow down, be present for each other. If the thrill is gone, if there is a lack of sort of like spark, that's something to talk to your partner about. Because I see so many great cards around this, it feels like it's more stress related or maybe even hormonal or environmental. So go there first. And then if that's not working, there are other outlets and avenues, and I'll let you discuss that with your partner. All right, looking at those that are single and looking. Can you find love right now? Absolutely. So what we have here is a fire sign wants to come through. We have the Two of Cups showing that it's a yes, this can happen. But there's a couple of things to be mindful of. First of all, where you least expect it is probably where this is going to materialize. School, work, as you're just going about your day-to-day activities, you may connect with someone and it could grow from there. With the Knight of Wands in the reverse position, there's something about the pacing. They want to go faster or you want to go faster, and the other party is not on the same page. So just meeting somewhere in the middle and just enjoying right here, right now. We don't have to jump straight into the 10 of Pentacles. This is a time for getting to know the person. So courtship now, commitment in the long run. But again, maybe something that there are rare times in your life when you meet someone and you think, that's the person I'm going to marry, or I really, really like this person. I see that. Just give them some time and space. Don't rush. They probably feel it too, but you just need to not rush it so that things can naturally form. Now, if you meet someone and you don't feel the connection, don't force it. Especially for new people. Like if it's the Ace of Wands and it's not an existing relationship, that to me just shows that there's a lack of a spark. There might be someone from the past where that's the truth, and just let it be in the past. We have a fire sign in the past, the King of Wands in the past, and it's just not there. The only other thing that I see with this potential fire sign in the future is maybe a lack of maturity. Knights versus a king tend to be just a little less mature, a little less well-rounded. So you may be the more mature one or the deeper thinker here. So just give that time and see if that is something that you're okay with. All right, finally, single and happy, perfect time for that. You can focus on work or education or emotional well-being. These are the things that are kind of like front and center. Just slowing down and being present and not feeling like you have to meet anyone else's deadlines. Getting that stopwatch and throwing it out the window. I think that could be very good right now. All right, let's take a look at your Destiny card. In Destiny, this card was reversed, but it says Raguel, Waves of Healing. It's kind of hard because it's like white on white here. It says, be bold and vulnerable, as this will initiate healing and harmonious resolution. So let's take this step by step. Waves of healing. If there's anything, mind, body, or spirit that you need to deal with, prioritize that first. Be open and vulnerable. In relationships and in life in general, kind of putting yourself out there and saying, this is what I want or this is what I don't want, which aligns with the Two of Pentacles. And also with the beautiful Two of Cups that we had in the crowning position. Okay. Healing and harmonious resolution. If you're in any situation right now and it just doesn't feel like it's adding up, take a breath, give it some time. I think that's the missing piece here. You will get to that harmonious resolution if you just give the person some time to think, let them come back to you. Keep the door open. You don't have to solve problems in one day, one meeting, or overnight. Time and space are your friend. All right, now is a chance to look at one final card, one final question. Anything that you still need a little bit of advice on, go ahead and ask. I'll shuffle the cards and we'll see what your guides have to say. So you received Queen of Wands and she is in the reverse position. She's coming through in a yes or no to tell you, yes, but you're overthinking. Yes, but you already know why or why not. And it's basically saying follow your instincts on this. There's a couple of other things here which are basically to not over or micromanage, basically. Let's say there's someone that you're trying to help or advise, they're not listening. What I was just saying about keeping an open door, not forcing something to happen too quickly, just say, I have some insights on this. I'm happy to help. Give me a call if you have any questions or if you want to talk. Don't force it. If someone comes to you and they want to vent, ask them how you can show up. Do you need just a listening ear? Do you want my advice? What can I do to help? Hold space. See what they say. If they say, I don't know, just say, okay, I'll just listen and we'll take it from there. The Queen of Wands in reverse she can come on too strong, but I'm giving you techniques to not come on too strong because she's super bossy sometimes. There are times and places in your life where it makes sense to hold your ground, and she will absolutely do that. If you are thinking to yourself, I'll never be able to do this or I can't do it, she's coming through to light your flame and your torch and say, yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. That's why you had the ace at the center. So she's there cheering you on and encouraging you to take a leap of faith. And you actually got a great totem this month in the kangaroo. Kangaroos can kind of defend themselves, right? And they also can leap and get somewhere faster. All that's important is believing in yourself. I think that's what some of the Hanged Man energy is about. Believing in yourself and picking that direction so that you use your time and your energy wisely. And that, my friends, is everything for this month. If you enjoyed this, please do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to this video, leave a comment, and like. You can also opt into notifications so you never miss out. Speaking of notifications, feel free to follow me across any or all of the social media platforms that you see here. I'm the newest one that I've just joined is Substack, but I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, you name it, TikTok, Blue Sky. All of the links you can find on my website, which is nicholasashbaugh.com. And if you'd like to give back, you can also go to PayPal. Here's the address. That's also on my website. Or you can do it right here by leaving a sticker, and then on any live stream by doing a super chat or super sticker. And if you'd like to become a member, set it and forget it. You'll get a special icon plus some emojis that you can use. So feel free to do that as well. All right, let's give Apollo one final pat on the head, and then we're going to wrap up for today. All right, buddy. Yes, I haven't forgotten you. No, I haven't. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Remember to check out my daily, weekly, and monthly videos on the main channel page. And until I see you again, have a fantastic month ahead. Bye-bye.